Alright, so I made this really cool and unique rocket ship, but what am I gonna land it on? Is that a planet? Oh my lord, how did that get there? I don't know, but I'm gonna land my rocket ship on this amazing planet. Let's do it. Here I come. I'm gonna call this planet Foobies. Let me land on you, planet. Please, planet. Don't have a conveyor, planet. And rocket ship work. No way I actually just landed this epic rocket on this Foobies. What? How did Foobies get here? And how did the rocket get here? What? There's no pilot seat on it. Diamond RBX is controlling it from my seat. No! No! My rocket ship. Foobies, I'm coming for you. Let's load in the ICBM over here. Hold up. This is called ICBM, by the way. This is also another rocket ship. This one, as I said, is called ICBM, Intercontinental Ballistic Missile. However, now it's an interplanetary ballistic missile. It did absolutely nothing. Wow. Foobies, what can I do to attack? What can I do to attack Foobies? You know what? I know what to do. I will simply land my rocket on it in the coolest way possible. Hold up. I'm just gonna do something really cool real quick. This is about to be really cool. Just letting you guys know. Nice job, me. That was very interesting how cool that was. Maybe I need... Okay, you guys have to give me another try. Foobies, you're so far, what, 3-0? But that's okay. Diamond RBX is a good rocket ship pilot, I think. He will be able to do the absolute coolest rocket ship maneuver of all time. Okay. Okay, 4-0. One more attempt. Okay, Foobies. Foobies, one more attempt. Okay, if I land on Foobies successfully this time, Foobies, you owe me a deletion. Like, you delete yourself. Haha, Foobies, you get deleted. Alright. Laugh at Foobies right now. Okay, Foobies, I'm on my way. I've done this really amazing thing. Alright. Check this out, Foobies. Stage separation successful. Okay, all of this is done for Foobies. I'm gonna land on the archway of the end. Foobies, did you see that? I know you saw that. I know you're jealous. You wish your rocket ship could do that. Isn't that right? Foobies. Okay, Foobies over there. Hey! Oh, no. You know what, Foobies? You're done. I can't even reach Foobies. You know what? Screw the super skit. I'm gonna teach you how to make a rocket ship. I'm not gonna teach you how to make Foobies, though. Foobies is mine. Alright, so, maybe you didn't like that stupid skit in the beginning, but maybe you thought this rocket was cool, hence why you're still here. You might be wondering, how in the world did you get it to be, you know, RC, like, you know, pilot seats and everything? That's how people make rockets usually, right? Well, I am Diamond RBX, a rocket scientist. This is how I did it. And you might be wondering, cool, he has bricks and wheels, what about it? These are called reaction wheels, and basically, they react. Go look them up, they're cool. But basically, every time I made a movement, every time I hit D, A, W, S, or Q, E to rotate the rocket, these things were moving like this. So, it's pretty cool. And you might be thinking, well, now I can click off the video because I know how it works. You do not know how this works. It's simpler than it isn't, because it isn't actually as simple as you would expect. There are some things that you have to master, like Foobies. I don't even like Foobies. I'm anchoring it. All right, but yeah, I'm gonna teach you guys how to make this. I'm gonna teach you how to make, probably not the cone because I'm not good at that, but I'll teach you how to make the circle, the cylinder. I'll teach you how to make the wheels, the amount of thrusters you need. You might need a couple of these, by the way. Camera, I'll teach you everything. I'll even teach you how to make legs. You know, the legs are awesome. So yeah, let's get right into it. Alrighty, so I'm going to be showing you guys how to make a RC rocket ship in Build Boat for Treasure by Diamond RBX. Helped. Walter the Duck showed me how to make cylinders. So thank you, Walter. But yeah, this is rocket, you know, rocket stuff. So it's kind of difficult. So I suggest, actually I don't suggest, you have to be on PC or computer to do this. And also you must have every single tool. Okay, you need the delete tool, you need the build tool. Paint tool is optional, but I suggest you have it because it makes it look better. You need every single tool. Also, before we do anything, notice my 100,000 titanium. That's beautiful. But yeah, make sure you have like 3,000, 4,000 titanium, and then also make sure you have at least 2 ultra thrusters, preferably more, but two is like basically the minimum. I mean, you could have 1, but that's really pushing it. You're gonna need a small rocket if you only have 1. I will only be showing you guys how to make the lander can, like the lander, the one with legs from earlier. Once you finish the lander can though, you will definitely have the knowledge to build a second stage, or like, you know, the can, like build 2 stages. So I'm gonna show you guys the legs, the mechanics, everything, and how to make cones, kinda. But yeah, let's get right into it. So the first thing you want to do is get your titanium out, set your scale to like 1. All right, and then we just want to go up a little bit like this. So this is 1 single block. So now what you want to do is you want to clone this so that it becomes more than 1 block. So yeah, this is my lander can. Okay, it is approximately 18 studs, which is 9 blocks across. That's the diameter. You can make yours smaller, you can make yours bigger. I suggest making it smaller if you don't have a lot of ultra thrusters, because I think this might need 2 or 3 to lift. So I would probably make yours smaller if you only have 2. But this is you know, that's just the base. It's cool. So what you want to do is you want to select these with the trowel tool. You want to clone them, and then you want to put them back inside of each other, and then you want to rotate by 15 degrees like that. All right, so now we have the same exact thing twice, and I'm gonna paint these ones red, the ones that are rotated. All right, and this is very important because of how I'm gonna show you how to make these circles. Or this is a cylinder right now. This is gonna be like the body of the rocket. So what you want to do is you want to go to one side. All right, you want to scale by 1 stud in like this to both of them, so they're going inside of each other. Alright, so now what you want to do is set your scale to 0.01, just like that. Okay, and then you want to scale in just like this until you just have this sliver of the white one right here. And then you do the same thing to this red side, scale in until there's basically nothing there. Scale in just a little bit more. Alright, so as you can see like this, it's basically perfect. It's beautiful. All right, and then if you click on it with the scale tool and click on the little arrow, or not the arrow, the plus, I mean, you can look at the dimensions. So mine's 2 by 2 by 2.18. So 0.18 is what I want to set my scale to right now, because 0.18 is how much I changed this side by. All right, so then you go to the other side and you scale in by 0.18 on both blocks like that, and you know, it's close. Okay, I found out why I had an issue. Okay, so make sure that both of your titaniums are the same length. So for me, one was 0.18, one was 0.19, so it messed up my my scaling. So make sure they're both like 0.19 for me, and then you want to scale them up by 0.19 on each side on this one. All right, and by each side I mean literally both sides. So I scaled it in to the right on the titanium, but I also have to scale it on the left like this. So you have to do that on all of them. So instead of 0.19, it will be 0.38 for me, so double. And you want to do that on every single one of them. All right, and you have to do this. You have to make it double your scale, because, well, 1 on each side, 1 times the scale on each side. So the reason is so that your perfect circle is a perfect circle and not a not perfect circle. So what you want to do is you want to select all these now, okay, and you want to duplicate or clone a little bit to the right, okay, and then you bring it back here, and then all you have to do is get your rotate out, rotate twice, and boom, you have this amazing, what is it, 1/4 of a circle. All right, so now you duplicate this again, just like this. All right, get the clone out, move it over here, and then you rotate it 4 times now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, and now you might be thinking, well, let's just duplicate it one more time. But as you can see, this area is a lot bigger than this area. Now this is because you only want to duplicate 4 at a time. So you want to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And you only want to duplicate those 4 at a time. So now you just do this, duplicate that, and then move it over, and that's 4. Only 4 were duplicated. and then you just move it over here. And now it's a perfect circle. There's no overlapping or anything. I mean, you can see some here, but that's not because there's blocks inside of each other, literally. I mean, they're just kind of clipping. And since this is a small lander can, we do not want them to be this big. So for me, if yours is massive, yours is like 38 blocks wide, like crazy big, you can keep it at 1 scale. But if yours is small like mine, we want to scale each and every single one of these blocks down to 0.2 thickness. Alright, so once you do that, you should have this beautiful circle right here. So now we want a base of the circle. So to do that, all we do is duplicate and move it down 2 studs. Alright, and now you can delete half of the sides like this. Alright, only on the bottom one though. Alright, and then all you have to do is scale one side over to the other side, and you will have a beautiful circle on the bottom. Also, I did notice that I accidentally deleted one too many. If this does happen to you, you can just clone one out like this, and then just rotate it once 15 degrees, and you'll notice it works. And yeah, as you can see, it's really glitchy. If you want, you can paint these all in. You can actually start painting these whatever color you want. So yeah, I'm just gonna make mine. Actually, I'll make mine Diamond RBX blue. Why not? Oh look, this guy also has a rocket ship. I also taught him how to make this rocket ship. Isn't that cool? My name's not Ben, just letting you guys know. But yeah, so once you have this kind of circle, if you want, just to reduce weight, you can make this smaller, which I'll do. Alright, but now what you want to do is you want to bring this up as high as you want it to be. I'm just gonna make mine approximately 15 studs tall, which is like 7.5 blocks. And I'll do this on all sides because why not? So as I said, this is the lander can, so it's really just, it's not supposed to be too big, because you know you're just landing with this. If you are just making a 1-stage whole rocket, then I guess make yours taller. But yeah, this is my lander can. It's cool. Alright, so now we have this cool cylinder with a really cool base like this. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to build the horrendous insides. We're gonna build the reaction wheels. So to make these reaction wheels, you do want normal wheels. You can use the back wheels and, like, you know, the new wheels, but they're bigger, so the first wheel is probably just better. But yeah, so what you want to do is you want to find the center of your little blocks right here, like the outside blocks of the cylinder. You want to find the center of those. Alright, and you want to put your amazing wheels inside and right on the center. So as you can see, you can line up with the scale tool just like this. As you can see, it's the center. So you want to do this, and you want to do this on 4 sides across from each other. This is the center here. Alright, and you want to do this now on the opposite. What you could do is you could just clone like this. Alright, so now we have the beautiful 4 sides. Alright, so this now gives you axis of rotation. So these ones right here are the WS controls to rotate you this way. Alright, and then these ones right here rotate you this way. Oh, you can see. But yeah, so now how you actually make these things actually do stuff is you put titanium on them. Alright, and before you start putting titanium on, I do suggest you put your rockets on first, or thrusters. So you somehow have to find the middle. So usually what I do to find the middle is I place a block, like a plastic block, like this. Alright, and I just bring it to the other side like that. Alright, and then you can see you can use the same scale tool method to find the center as we did with the wheels. Alright, just like that. And I like to have mine down a little bit more, so like that. Alright, and I'm just gonna place 2 thrusters. Hopefully that's enough. I'll also place a camera now. You guys should probably also place a camera because it is RC. And quickly, before we do anything else, let me just name this slot video. What we're going to do is we're going to test our stuff. Okay, so what we do is we get our what's it called, a switch out, unbind all the wheels in the camera, or actually, you can bind the camera. I'm gonna bind the camera. If you click, you should not do this. You do not want to fly off to the left that means that something isn't right with how you place your rockets. Yep, you can see just right here, mine is definitely not in the center. So an easy way to fix this would just be to replace them. Alright, it's a good thing we tested now, because we did not want to figure out that I messed it up at the end. That would be horrible. But yeah, that's why we do tests. So I'm gonna make sure to test this one more time, make sure it's right, make sure it's not veering off to the side horrendously. That would be probably the worst thing. Alright, as you can see, mine goes basically straight up. If it has a little bit of tilt to it, that's just fine. But obviously, if you saw earlier, it was crazy. And it was going straight sideways, which is bad. But yeah, once you have your thrusters central, now you can place your titanium on all your wheels, like this. Alright, what you want to do is you want to scale them, just so that they're not touching the thruster. So you can see mine's about basically one stud at this point. So yeah, you scaled out one stud on all sides. I'm only going to do 2 sides right now, because you can just clone tool, so you don't have to make the same changes to everything. And then I'm going to make this approximately that much in height. So mine's going to be 8 tall. Make sure it's centered to the wheel still after all this. And also you can make it thicker this way. Alright, and then you just want to duplicate this over to the other side once you're confident that's big enough. Don't make it too big though, because we still do have some other reaction wheels to make after we do these. But yeah, so now we want to make QE binds. If you don't know what QE binds, that's like rotating your rocket this way, because if you're thinking like, oh, that's useless, why would you ever need that? Control a rocket without it. You will be crying. And you will want this QE, because if you're trying to land, alright, and your rocket's facing the wrong way and you go to move, it will not move how you want it to move. It will move backwards or like sideways. It's so weird. So what you want to do is just place a block a little bit above these blocks right here. Okay, and then I don't know why that one's there, probably from earlier, but so you just place it. It goes just over like that. Alright, and then you want to get another wheel, and you want this wheel to be facing up like this. Alright, and then this one you want to move it a little bit in like that. Alright, and this is mainly because well, you don't really have a lot of room. Look how small everything's crammed, so you just want it to be there. Also, we're gonna have a cone on top, or at least I'm gonna show you guys how to make my cone. But yeah, so once you place that block, you just make it a little bit bigger like this. You don't want it to be too big, because you don't want to stress your thrusters too much. So I'm just gonna make mine this big. This is 6 by 3 by 12, by the way, for those who would love to know. And make sure to collision off. Alright, so now make sure to save it, and this is where we do some binding, so this is gonna be totally fun. Alright, so me and my friend Wadler, but particularly me, I came up with these binds, and they might sound stupid, but if you actually follow these binds, you will realize how absolutely genius and easy these binds are to use. So first off, we will bind or unbind everything, because everything is probably wrongly bind. Everything. Alright, and now bind your what's it called? Thrusters to left click. And this might sound stupid, but you'll realize how easy it is once you actually try to fly this. Set your camera to whatever you want other than Q, W, E, A, S, W, and left click. Anything other than those. Bind to. I just bind mine to P. Alright. Bind your top wheel to Q and E. Alright, we might have to reverse the wheel. It's kind of different on every rocket ship. Bind. Alright, wait. I'm gonna make this. Okay, so this is my little line. It tells me where the back of my rocket ship is, which is very useful. You should definitely have a line like this in your rocket. But bind the ones to the left and right of that line with W and S. Alright, and then bind the ones going with the line, so this way straight, with A and D. Or D and A, I guess, if you're me. Alright, and we have no way of really knowing if we binded this correctly right now, like if stuff will go in the right direction. But before we do that, make sure to set your wheel torque to green, or, well, actually, I like to set mine to yellow, but I set the top QE to green. Alright, make sure wheel speed is 50. Alright, save it and unanchor it, and now we're gonna do a test. Alright, so go into your camera, turn on your thrusters, test it out, and just try to move your rocket. So as you can see, my AD is correct, my WS is backwards, and my QE is also backwards. So the QE, I like to make Q or E, rotate me this way to the right, so like this. All right, and I like Q to rotate me this way. All right, so I will make sure to reverse bind those. All right, and once you reverse them, you just try it again, and if it's reversed, I guess just reverse the wheel again, because sometimes there's like a little glitch. All right, but once it's controlling how you want it to, you can try to land it, whatever, because right now it is really cool, you know. It's like a really cool little thing, you know. Like that landed. All right, but yeah, that's pretty cool. Also, if you notice that your wheels are spinning you too slow, like your WASD wheels, you can increase the amount of mass that these reaction wheels have. So you can do two things. You can either duplicate blocks into each other like that, or you can just add like, if you can like scale out more, but make sure these wheel blocks are never touching each other, because they might, you know, like anchor themselves to each other, and it just becomes a mess that's hard to deal with. Or it can make them taller, because, you know, like this. Also, if the top one, mine is a bit bigger, so I'm gonna do that. All right, so I'm just gonna test it out. And yeah, so getting the rockets like how you actually want them to be, you just have to figure that out yourself. I can't really tell you because I'm not you. So this is how I like my rockets. I like them to be pretty snappy when it comes to rotating, but not super fast. Yeah, once you have your cool little rocket stuff done, we can move on to the cone. So the cone is very similar to the cylinder, that's what it's called. Okay, but yeah, so I'm going to rotate 30 degrees this block right here, just like that. All right, and then you go like this. All right, and then as you can see, this is just like part of the cone, and this right here we will move up just like that. All right, and so this, I'm speaking really strangely right now, but basically this is the same exact thing as the cone. We're making the cone. The same thing as the cylinder, but it's a cone, so we have it angled inwards. So you angle it like that, and you want to set the scale to, if you remember it, like scale out on both sides, so like this. Mine's 0.19, so we do that. All right, also I'm gonna paint this one red. And then as you can see, if we were to dupe this right now, there would be this area in the middle where there's nothing. This is because I'm going to add this really cool segment right here that's like, let's say, 15 degrees, like that. All right, just like this. Move it in. 0.19. 0.19. Scale on either side. All right, and then once you think it's right, what you want to do is you want to duplicate this to the other side. A good way to do this would be to just place like a block in the middle, select these, and then select the block in the middle to set the move. Clone it, rotate it 90 degrees, just double select the block if it gets weird. All right, and then we just move it back like that. All right, so now we have duplicate size. So as you can see, they really are not the same. See, there's like a little error there. If you can't get it right, you can just like literally just copy it. That's like kind of last case, because it kind of sucks, but I have to do it. All right, but so yeah, this should be right now. I just had to redo the whole thing technically, but on this side. And then as you can see, they were definitely not touching here, so I'm just gonna scale mine out a little bit just so that touches, and make sure they're the same exact length. So they're both 4.6 right now. I'll make them 4.8, and just like that. Also, I need to scale mine out, or width wise. All right, and you don't want them to be clipping into each other, because these outside rings right here will create like a weird circle, so you don't want it to be too thick. But that's a cool cone. So like if you go sideways like this is what it will look like in the end. So that's a cool shape, I think. So now basically we do the exact same thing as we did with the cone. So all we have to do, actually, well, you can place a reference block because clearly these are rotated sideways, so they will be kind of strange. But I'm gonna clone mine here. All right, and then you clone it back. And then since you have them on the same like width side, you can just rotate them 15 degrees like this, and as you can see, it will just work. But yeah, so I'm just going to do that. You guys can probably watch since I will be proficient at this. Over here, remember, you only want 4 at a time to be duplicated. If we have more than 4, it'll become very strange. So yeah, make sure you have 4. Alright, and then the last dupe right here, or last rotation, I guess. Done. Alright, as you can see, a little bit spiky on the top, exactly as I suggested it would be. I don't really want it like that, but that is the best I know how to do. So yeah, I will keep this one red. I'll make everything else a beautiful blue. Alright, so yeah, I might make this like a darker blue or something. But yeah, so make sure you have this like beautiful line that tells you which direction is which, because if you don't, you will get very confused flying this thing. But yeah, so now save it, unanchor it, and test fly it. See if it goes straight up now. Mine goes perfectly straight, which is exactly what you want. And yeah, you can try land it, but it's not done yet. We still have to add the landing legs. Don't leave yet, unless you don't want landing legs, but you know, landing legs are cool. Alright, so yeah, now we will make the landing legs. But place it 1 titanium block on the, well, your little line right here. Alright, set your scale to 1. Alright, scale out. Put this here. Alright, and we're basically just like making the same thing on each side, 0.5 thick, just like this. Alright, and then you want to get a hinge. Place a hinge here and here. And then you want to get your block, place it there. If you want, you can probably just scale these in if it's not as big. Like if your rocket's really small, they don't have to be this far apart. You can make them more inwards like that. I'm not, since it will be colliding, but it's an option for you. Alright, and then also I would make this a little bit taller like that. This is just to give it a wider rotation if we connect stuff up here. Alright, and then we want to duplicate this up just like that. Alright, so now these are kind of our legs, so this will be where the bottom of the leg is connected to, this will be where the top is. Alright, and also before we forget, make sure to scale it into your actual rocket ship, or else it will be kind of strange. And also, landing legs, I will admit, they are kind of difficult to work with, because if you do them wrong, or on mine in particular, because this, I don't know, this is kind of a weird rocket. I chose a weird diameter. I don't know why I chose 15. You should, if you haven't actually started yet, make it like something even, like 16. So yeah, what you want to do now is you want to get a block, alright, like a titanium block, rotate it 45 degrees, press T once, alright, and now you have this amazing leg. Alright, so we scale out like this. I'm gonna make my leg a little bit thinner, like that. Alright, add our little leg here. This is a foot, by the way. This is what I'm doing right now. This is a foot. As you can see, it is now a foot. And now we have to make the actual part that makes it go up. So to do that, we place a hinge approximately in the middle right here, on both sides, just like that. Make sure they're right across from each other. And then you want to get a block. I'm just gonna start out on one side, and we want to scale it in like this. Alright, I mean, you don't have to make it small, but you know, it makes it look better. And we go in like this. Okay, and then what you want to do now is you want to get a piston, okay, and you want to click the piston so it goes up, and basically you want it to attach right how it is here, like well, not in that exact location, but we want it to be in the middle, and we want it to be like that, so it's like inside of there. Alright, and now what we want to do is we want to place a titanium block there, scale over on the sides here, just like this. Make sure it's inside of here, and then you kind of just want to do the same thing on the other side. So like this, it's 3.5 tall, and then scale this out. Alright, so that is one landing leg. It should be good. So a good way to test, unanchor everything except for one block and click it. As you can see, it goes in, and if you do notice it glitches a lot, this is probably because we forgot to non-collision. So make sure to non-collision everything on the landing leg except for the actual leg itself. Alright, you can make everything invisible except for the leg itself too. Okay, let's try it again. So a lot of this rocket ship stuff is just like tests, make sure it works and stuff like that. But as you can see, it goes up, and if you click the thing again, it should go down. All right, and a good thing is if it works first try. A bad thing is if it doesn't work. If it doesn't work, there's a variety of things that could be going wrong. So number one, you could have made these right here, these parts, too far apart or too close together. If they're too close, it'll like pop inside of the rocket and it'll break. And if they're too far, it'll be like at a 90-degree angle. It will be like really weird. Also, this part right here that I'm circling my mouse could be too close to the leg or too close to the actual over here, that part. And then also another thing could be your piston is not in the center. As you can see, mine is pretty much, if I make this invisible, it's basically really close to the center. If yours is too high or too low, it could be messing things up. So yeah, just play around with that. If you can't get it to work, I guess you can make just permanent landing legs, but these go up and down. They're really cool. So that is the legs. Alright, so now I'm going to duplicate the legs. So what you want to do is you want to find out how many legs you want. I'm going to try to make 3 legs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place a little reference block right there. Okay, reference blocks are very useful. What you want to do is you want to get 1 block here. Oh, I accidentally did this while unanchored. Okay, so to duplicate the landing leg, what you want to do is you want to place a block, like let's say inside the camera right here. And this block is in the center of the craft, which is very important for this. So what you want to do is you want to select the landing legs, alright? And then you want to select the block. Okay, and what you want to do is you want to clone this, like this, and then you want to bring it back into the center. So now, what you should be able to do is rotate this approximately 120 degrees, because 120 multiplied by 3 is 360, and that's how many degrees are in a circle. Rotate this one time. Alright, and as you can see, it's here. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to get this basically back to this block right here, just a little bit rotated. Alright, and you can also set your scale like 0.5 and stuff to make sure you're getting it in the right spot, because it's very important. Alright, so what we want to do to duplicate these legs is to go over here. Alright, and you want to place a block basically in the center here. Okay, and you want to select your landing leg. Alright, landing leg. Yep, I'm smart. Okay, and what you want to do is you want to move this little block until your landing leg, like when you select the landing leg and the block, the center of both those is the center of your rocket. So yeah, I'm just gonna continue moving my little landing leg until that is the case. So okay, as you guys can see, I have to move this a little bit to the right now. Let's say a couple studs like that. Alright, but once you've done that, you want to select the landing legs. Alright, and then you want to select the block and just make sure that it is centered. So as you can see, mine is exactly in the center. Alright, you want to duplicate the leg, and then you want to bring it back to where it was. So now you have 2 of the exact same thing in the same spot. Alright, and now if you want 3 legs, you rotate by 120 degrees. If you want 4 legs, by 90 degrees, but twice, so 180 degrees. Alright, but now, as you can see, if I just do it once, now I have a leg there. Alright, and then we just clone one more time, and then we bring it back. Alright, and then we rotate one more time. Alright, and as you can see, I now have 3 equivalently spaced landing legs. So now all I have to do is save. Alright, and a good way to test if they're equally spaced is, okay, well, number 1, make sure they don't shatter. Alright, I think you just have to save and reload for that. But yeah, as you can see, mine goes pretty much straight up, which means landing leg should be fine. I think the reason it's leaning forward is because when I press S, it brings the landing leg in. So we're just gonna unbind that real quick. Oh yeah, also as you're adding more stuff to your rocket, you'll notice it is starting to move a lot slower. That's because there's more weight. So if you need to, you can, or if you don't like it, which I don't like mine, make sure you're always increasing the amount of weight that's inside of here. So yeah. Alright, and my landing legs work perfect. So yeah, now I'm just gonna bind them. By the way, I'll give you guys the binds that me and my friends use, particularly me. I like to set pull to R and push to T because it's right next to your WASD binds, so it's easy to do while you're controlling your rocket. And yeah, so I guess you can make sure all that works. Also, the more weight you add to your reaction wheels, the more thrusters you will need, so just make sure to be wary of that. If you don't have a lot of thrusters, you might need to decrease the size of your rocket. As I said, this is not super easy to do, so like rockets are not easy. So, and yeah, that's basically how you make a rocket ship and build a boat for treasure. You should be able to make another stage now because it's literally the exact same thing but without a cone on top. And yeah, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoy your amazing rockets. Before I leave and give you guys the outro, obviously you don't want to just sit around doing nothing on your rocket. You gotta actually do something. So here are some missions you can do to actually have fun with these RC rockets. So the first thing is you can go to the end from your team and land on the arches of, like, you know, the waterfall. Alright, and then go back home, you know, back to white team or whatever team you're on. Alright, the second one is go to the last stage, like the lighthouse stage, and land, and then get back to white team. That's actually really fun because sometimes there's a challenge to like not get hit by some of the stage weaponry and stuff. But yeah, so that's number 2. Number 3 is to hit a cool retrograde. If you don't know what a retrograde is, first I gotta tell you what prograde is. Prograde is the direction that you are going, and retrograde is the direction that you are not going. So pointing the opposite direction that you're moving. So let's say you're going down. Instead of pointing down, which is prograde, you would point up and start boosting upwards to slow your fall. And the fourth one is to go under the map. So let's say you're on white team, just go backwards, go under the map, land on the arches at the end, and then go back to white team. That is really cool to do. It just shows that you have like ultimate control. And yeah, that's some cool missions. Obviously you can come up with some on your own. Just find ways to have fun with these rockets. They're awesome. They're cool equipment to have in your save slots. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Also, something really cool happened while I was recording this video. My good friend Jesse TC, some of you might know him. I was in his video. As you can see, look, it's Diamond RBX and Jesse TC. What? But yeah, basically what happened, I posted into his Reddit about my BattleBot thing, BFT, and he wants to fight. So yeah, you guys might get a video soon of me and Jesse TC having a BattleBot fight or a tournament on his channel and my channel. So that's pretty cool. And yeah, see ya. Make sure to subscribe.